Okay, so we're on the Master Calais book, and we've sort of been taking a detour covering some various topics uh, related to the book, but not really covered. And in fact, these I aren't really covered anywhere. So I've got two more sessions, this one and next time, and these have to do with prime versus prime, really, or priming game plan. And I had the quote from Phil Simborg, who is a very funny guy in general, but this is one of his funnier ones. And this has to do with prime versus prime and cube decisions. And we'll look at those. I'm going to get some tools, show you have some tools that should help a little bit, but uh, aren't nearly as strong as, say, the Keith count rules and that sort of thing, or even the Pratt system for cubing that we saw. It turns out that prime versus prime cube is very difficult, and small changes can make big differences, and things that most people intuitively see as a toss-up are can be very difficult and sometimes make big blunders that you would not even think of, either by taking or cubing or not cubing. So we'll get into those. So first I want to show you some positions, and I want to give you the analytical framework that I try to use. And I learned this is again, I learned this from David Presser, who taught me the Pratt system. And it focuses on the key things to look at. And like the Pratt system, those are very important things to look at. Interpreting, however, is not always easy. For Pratt, we tried to distill down to a couple of things were very simple. Position and race were very relatively simple, and it was sort of threats and gamma potentials that were difficult. Here, there are a few things that are simple, but all things considered, it's harder to evaluate. So let's just take a look at this one, and just to get an idea of what do people think. White is on roll. Is this a cube or not? What do you think? And if it is a cube, is this a take? And just to make it more difficult, which one is more clear? The cube or the take? Anyone want to venture a guess?
I'll say double take
Mhm.
because I'm thinking any six, white's on the roll, right?
Yeah, white's on roll.
So any six is going to get a guy out and give him a couple more turns. And if you don't roll a six, it's still basically an even game
Yeah,
at worst, unless you get something just, or well, there isn't really even a horrible roll, right? About fours or something, right? Fours
yeah.
or yeah,
Double fours, double threes
yep.
aren't good. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let me just give you the analysis, the framework that I would put this in, is that there are three things to look at. One is, well, this is prime versus prime. Who's got the better prime? Uh, and that would be the length of the prime, and also whether it's a broken prime or not broken prime. And obviously, a straight regular prime is better than a broken prime. So here, white's got the advantage on the prime. White has a 6 prime, black has a 5 prime. So white's got the advantage there. The other thing to look at is how many checkers are behind the prime on the one hand, and then are the checkers at the edge of the prime on the other. Now here, both have two checkers at the end of the prime, and both are at the edge. So this is probably a draw. Well, there's certainly a draw on this criteria. And the third thing, and a very difficult one to evaluate, is the timing. And by timing, what do I mean by that? Well, with prime versus prime, what you're concerned, as Michael pointed out, is crashing. Who's going to crash their prime first? And so here, black, well, if white does not roll a 6, white is going to probably break his prime, or at least not necessarily break the prime, but go down to a 5 prime, become equal with black. Now there's a few numbers here, double, 2-1, 3-1, anything that 4 or less, really, where white keeps his prime, and then black, then white has a big advantage because black has got to break something down. Even having said that, black doesn't necessarily break his prime in the next roll, because 6s don't play, neither do 5s, but 4s. And a lot of numbers don't break it yet. So 4, 3. So the timing, that's difficult to tell who's better off here, but it's not there. There's no clear advantage here. So typically the way we look, or the rule that I go by, that is, if there are 3 things to look at. If you have an advantage, you're on just making the cube decision. The one who has the advantage in 2 or more of them, at least 2 or more, it's probably a double. And the take. If someone has an advantage in 3, then it's a double and a pass. If you have an advantage in 1, then it's a double that's in question. And I should say, if you have an advantage in 2, it's the take that's in question. So here we have a situation where we've got white has the better prime, so give him 1 for that. You can also grade these. It may not be a full clear 1, but here I would call this a 1. Timing, I would say, is more or less equal. It's a toss-up, and both have 2 behind. So here I would say the double is in question, and the take, it should be a big take. And so that is actually what comes out. This, I think, if you do it a little bit higher, I have been told that on the rollout that this is actually a no double. But in any case, if you double this, it's not terrible. And you've got reason to double it. Another way of looking at it is O'Hagan's law of market losers. You roll a 6 and you've lost your market, pretty much. So that would be a reason to double now. Now keep in mind, O'Hagan's law, it's net market loser. So you roll a 6, there are 11 6s, and you've lost your market. But if you roll double 4s, say, or double 3s, that's you probably lost your mark, or that's a anti-joker, and you probably get doubled back if you have to break your if you go from a 6 prime to a 4 prime or a broken 4 prime, or you leave a shot. So O'Hagan's law says you have to have 9 net market losers to double, and that's pretty much what you have here. So this is borderline double and a take. Okay, so let's look at in this case, let's look at changing the timing a little bit. If we move it this way, we've got less timing. And so what's going to happen? If this is borderline double, this is probably not going to be a double anymore. In fact, it's a blunder to double this one. Let's move it back here. Now it's a big double and a big take. We just moved this 3 pips, and we went from barely a double to a blunder. And so this is how we get to pay attention, someone's going to blunder. Because it's a blunder not to double this. Looking at this one, but I wonder how many people would take that. It's an even bigger blunder to pass this. Smooth it back a little bit more. Now it's a clear double, and the take is in question. So here, back to the analytical framework. Now we've got better prime, 6 versus 5, and the timing. This is now shifted in White's favor. So now White has better two of these, two of the criteria, and they both have 2 checkers back behind at the edge of the prime. So that's still even. So here's White's in the question, or the take is in question. Now I don't know. There may be some analytical framework that tells you how much this timing is and whether it's enough in this circumstance and that sort of thing. I don't know of that, of anyone who's done that. So this is the kind of thing where you really, with this sort of framework, you really have to study it a lot and sort of get an intuition. Because I don't think it would be nice if we could do something like count pips, like say, okay, we've got what, 12 pips here or 11 pips of timing, and that means something. Maybe someone has come up with that. I don't know about it if they have. We move this checker back here, give us an extra 5 more pips. It turns out that this is a pass. And this is a big pass. So, that's a 0.4 error. That's a big blunder. That's the type of whopper that you shouldn't do to keep your PR down. But, there are 5 pips between here and here. That's still a whopper. I think that's a triple whopper. Probably down to a double whopper here. Yeah, 20. This is probably a single whopper. Yeah. And that's almost barely a blunder, probably a blunder. And here it's a take. So, each checker increased the level of blunder by, it's a 0.10 error. So it, increased the level of blunder, which is why this is very difficult and it's very easy to make big mistakes, because it's not obvious why this is a take, to me anyway, and this is a blunder. But again, if you look at, the 3 criteria, you at least know that here, the take is in question more so, whereas here it's the double that's in question. All right, let's look at some more. Oh, okay, yeah, this is just another variation. Now we've and so now instead of changing White's timing, we've changed Black's timing. Because keep in mind, Black still has a timing issue here, because whatever happens, Black's going to roll next, and he's unless we break our bar point, he's going to start crashing his board. So what do you think? Is this better for White or better or not?
It's
Seems
better
like
for
it's,
White.
yeah, go ahead.
I think it's better for White
Yeah, and why?
because Black has to crash his board.
Right, Black's timing is
Very
worse.
next move. Yeah.
Yeah, Black's timing is worse. So now the question is, okay, we still have 2 checkers at the edge of the prime, so that's equal. White still has the better prime, but now White's timing has improved relative to Black. And so if when Black had better timing, it was the double was in question. It was a big take. This should be a double. And I don't know if the take is in question. The take is not in question yet, but it's closer, and just switching a few checkers around here. This is a few pips. made this from a break-even double, probably I think a no double on the rollout, to a big blunder if you did not double this. So be prepared to blunder here. Okay. In this situation, now, so if we go through we can go through the analytic framework again. Each player has 2 checkers back. Each is at the edge of the prime. You can call this being on the bar at the edge of the prime because black is closed out his board. White has the better prime, 6 prime versus black's 5 prime. What about the timing on this one?
I don't think white has very good timing here.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let me
He's
ask
on,
you.
right?
Yeah. Is it this white's timing is the same as before, as the previous example, right?
Well, but if he doesn't get a 6, he's gonna it's gonna crash his board, start to crash his board.
Yes,
So he needs a 6.
that's right. Yeah, but that's the same as it was last time, right? The last example we looked at. The difference being that white had.
I've forgotten the last
Well,
example.
yeah, that was 5 minutes ago. I know that was way too long to remember, but yeah.
But-
So, but what about black's timing? The key
I
thing
mean-
here is what is black's timing now?
Black has no roll, so now he doesn't have to crash.
Yeah. So what does that mean for his timing?
It's infinite, I think.
Yeah, black. Yeah, when you're on the bar, you've got all the timing in the world because you're not going anywhere. You can't crash your board. So either what's going to happen is white will get the 6 and come out, or white will crash his board and then black will come in. So black has a clear superiority in timing here. Okay, so what's that going to do to our analysis? Well, we still got 2 checkers back at the edge, so that's equal. White has the better board, so they got an advantage there. Now, however, white has a big disadvantage in timing. And so that's going to make this what? Double or no double? And big take or not?
A no double.
I would guess it's no double.
Yeah. Is it a take, big take, small take?
Well, if it's a no double, it's automatic take.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But what I'm asking is this like a huge blunder to pass this small blunder? Close call.
I think it's a big blunder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 0.985 is very easy to classify as a big blunder. That's the type of thing that can really ruin your PR if you do this. So and I think, yeah, well, as Karen mentioned earlier, Kit Woolsey suggested you don't. So yeah, I would agree with that. However, figuring this out is not at all obvious. But again, with the framework, the analytical framework, it helps a little bit, knowing that black now has very good timing. And so this is not, it's a blunder to double this. You have one advantage, but you have a fairly large disadvantage on the other criteria. And so, yeah, don't double this, but this is,
How would match score affect these decisions?
Well, in this case, at 11-0, this is basically like the same as an unlimited game. Let's look at that. no double beaver. It's basically a 50-50 game, slightly advantage to white, but match score. Well, it's not that gammonish. I guess white has a few gammons. If white rolls a 6 right away, there's gammons. So maybe white, if white is like 4 away. Let's say the most sensitive score. Now here we might double this. White's got some good gammons. Now it is a double, yeah. Again, 15% is not a lot, but it's not 0 either. And at this score, if if white crashes and black comes out, his gammons aren't going to count. But so that sort of nullifies that advantage for black. So yeah, but that's a whole match score impacts are a whole enough for another ball game for this analysis. And we're I think we should be happy just to have some sort of clue as to what to do in these situations. Match score. Well, this goes back to Phil's quote. Someone's gonna blunder here at this score. And here's another one where, okay, at this score, it's a blunder not to double and a blunder not to take it. And at this score, it's a blunder to double and also a blunder not to take it. But not easy to see. All right. So here what we've done, again, we're looking at one checker behind the prime at the edge of the prime. 6 prime versus 5 prime. Again, white has the advantage. Timing, and the timing is now the issue. Who's got the better timing? And is it enough to double? So white has one factor in his favor. But as we saw before, black is on the bar and has infinite timing. But does white have enough timing here to justify doubling? Any guess?
Yes, me, yes.
You think it's enough? So you would double?
Yes, I would.
Okay, and good for you. It is a double. So, and if we move this back, giving white a little more timing, it's still a take, double and take, but it's a bigger double. More timing, still a double and a take. And even back to this point, it's a double. And still a take. So again, it's hardly, it's very, I don't have it'd be nice if we knew how much, if we could somehow count the timing on this and figure out how much was enough to give you a big double and or a take, but we don't know.
So why is that a take, that position?
Well, it's the same reason that it's always take, in that if black rolls a 6, black wins this one. However, there's no guarantee black will roll a 6, and there are a lot of anti-jokers for white. In this case, any doubles other than 6, or well, double ones aren't bad either, but double 5s is a killer. In this case, 5s opens up, breaks the prime, but then you're back to the 5 prime versus 5 prime. So I guess I can't make it any more accurate than that, because it's very hard to, I guess the theme of this lesson is, this is a good way to start looking at it. but I can't give you easy answers. You really have to study these and go over a lot of examples and sort of get an intuition of how much timing is enough and that sort of thing. So yeah, very hard to do. I mean, you just, this is one of those things where I like analytical analysis that tells you, that can tell you what to do in all situations. This, I don't have the answer to that for this one. So, I mean, all we can do is look at different situations. So let's look at another variation of this. What about this one? Now, this is a little bit different. We had the black again has a lot of timing. We have the same timing that we had before with it, and this was a double and a take. But in this case, we've put a black checker right here. Does that change anything?
Yeah, because now it's 6, and you got 2 guys back, which is a reasonable chance of winning a gammon, right?
Yeah, well, you certainly increase your chances of gammon. Because if white gets to 6 before black can come in, that's 2 on the bar. So is that enough? Oh, let's look. It turns out that it is. It's a pass, although it's a very close take for that. But, white's gammons go up 24%. So white has big gammons here. Let's look at moving this back. Now, what is it? What do we think we've done there? Increase gammons, decrease gammons.
Decreased.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's a huge decrease because now we need a 6 to come out and then a 3 to hit, and we don't have a lot of timing to hit. So there's still some gammons, but they've been cut in half. Basically, it was 24% 4, now it's 12%. Okay. Another variation here. Now what did we do? We changed the timing by 2 pips for white. Is that enough to do anything?
So that's better for white, right?
Well, did we increase white's timing or did we decrease white's timing?
Oh, I guess we decreased it.
Yeah, this is what it was before, and this was a double and a pass.
Yeah, so we decreased it. Yeah.
Yeah, we decreased it. Yeah, so that's going to be weaker. And is that enough to put it to a take? Yeah, now it's a big take. Yeah, we moved it 2 pips. It's a big take. This was, I think, a small pass. Yeah, small pass. So yeah, this is kind of the thing that makes this very difficult. This is a change of 2 pips, and it goes from a small pass to a huge blunder to pass by 0.3. Okay. Okay, now, I already looked at this variation. Let's not look at it again. Yeah, so now here, there's something else going on. Okay, so both players have 1 checker behind the prime, and at the edge of the prime. Black's timing is large. White has some timing, and we saw that this was enough to double before. And I will give you a hint and ask a question. This is going to be a big pass. And it was a take before, but why is this a big pass? And when we had this, the black checkers here, I think this was a take. Yeah, this was a big take.
Sixes
Fives
don't
don't
play.
break you now.
Sixes don't play.
Yes, very good. Sixes don't play. So sixes before won the game. Now fives win the game. But fives don't break, so fives don't break our board. Sixes don't break our board. So we've reduced the number of rolls that break our board. And that gives us much more timing. Timing being, okay, how many rolls, you need to roll 5. How many rolls is it going to take to roll a 5? Well, we've just eliminated some numbers that are going to crack our board. Okay, so let's go over 2 more. I wanted to look at some that weren't, these are sort of unique positions. These are a little bit different. So what do we have here? Well, let's look at the framework. We've got 6 prime versus 4 prime. I'm sorry, 5 prime versus 4 prime. So white has the advantage here on that one. Each has 1 checker behind the prime. Neither one are at the edge. So that's a wash. Timing. What about timing?
White is better.
Yeah. A little bit better, I'd say. Well, let's see. Yeah, white's got, these are the same, and black is up a little 2 pips, so white's got a little bit better there. But what's the other feature of this position that's going to impact it that we didn't see before? Oh, and let's look at that. So, well, just let's leave that there for a minute. Is this a we've got white with 1 advantage, and let's say a small advantage on timing. Is that enough to make it a double?
Seems to be a double.
You think it's double?
Double take, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's no double, and it's fairly big double. There's one feature about this position that's different from the ones we've looked at. And that's that black can extend the prime. Here it's not only timing, which we can extend the prime. And black can extend it by making the 8-point or by making the 3-point. And so black is more of a dynamic prime. White really can't extend the prime. To a certain extent, it can, but by bringing these checkers in, but black can also do the same thing. Black probably has more numbers to extend the prime right away. So that part of timing allows black to make an extended prime. Now white still has the advantage, but it's enough of a factor in black's favor to get to make it a no double. All right, last one. So here we have a case of, okay, let's do our analysis. 5 prime for black, 5 prime for white. So that's the same. White's got 2 checkers, but at the edge, black only has 1. not at the edge. So that's, I guess, sort of a wash. Timing. Certainly white has good timing. With 3 checkers to play with. Black has some timing, but only 2 here. Is that enough for a double? And if it is the taking question or is it pass?
I think it's a double take.
Double take? Yeah, well, white has the advantage in one area, which is timing. And so but it's a fairly sizable advantage. And the other two, well, white's at the edge, black is not, but white has 2 back. So yeah, the answer is it is a double and a take.
Wow, incredible, it's 75%. Wow.
Yeah. And so in this case, it's the big advantage in timing that matters here. And that's overwhelming here. All right, that's all I had planned for tonight. Again, these are pretty rudimentary tools, but they're they give you a start. And they aren't, unfortunately, they're not as analytically pure, say, as the things like the racing formulas, and even the Pratt system, I think is easier to interpret and to understand. But this, for those of you that really want to get a handle on this, you can start looking at this and looking at it from this framework, and that will help you. However, you can still be prepared to blunder because it's not foolproof. All right.
Okay, thanks, Gary.